I'm back. This is another segment of Getting Healthy in a Budget. You know, when it comes time, everybody knows when it comes to your health, sometimes it can get a little expensive. And to me, you should never pay the price tag on your health. But at times, bad economy, certain times you have certain situations, you can't really, sometimes you just don't have money. And you shouldn't be, or because you don't have money or poor, that still doesn't mean you should be unhealthy. So in the first segment, I went over a few different things, like cayenne pepper, certain things that, lemons and water, certain things that are cheap that you may not really notice that, hey, you could use them, it could help. In this segment, I'm going to continue that. And I'm going to talk about stuff in your kitchen that you may not know that's healthy, that is fairly cheap. And when you use them, you get good results from them. One of the first things I'm going to cover is cinnamon. I'm not going to go too much into it, but cinnamon is really good. Cinnamon helps bring your blood sugar down. If you're a diabetic, it's wonderful. Cinnamon, a lot of people have that in their kitchen. And they may not know the health benefits to it, but it's pretty good. It's no joke. Cinnamon is something where it's cheap, it's healthy, it brings your blood sugar down, and the thing about it is it doesn't really interfere with, because there are a lot of other times when you have certain circumstances where if you have certain foods, like if you have fruits and vegetables, you put them together, it cancels each other out. Cinnamon doesn't have that problem. So if you have cinnamon in your medicine cabinet, you need to look at that. That's one thing. Another thing you could look at is rosemary. Rosemary helps with digestion, stuff like that. And if you're using it for your food, obviously it's ideal, because most of the time we're eating food that we're not supposed to be eating. So in a lot of ways, it helps make our digestion smoother. Another thing that you could also use that a lot of people don't even realize is that curry. Curry helps fight cancer. Curry is really good for you. If a lot of the curry spices, if you want curry spices, you could go to like a Middle Eastern or Indian market and you get it, and you'd be surprised the health effects that comes from it. People laugh, and some people don't eat curry. They laugh and they may say, "Wow, it's strange that curry is good for you," but curry is actually good for you. Sometimes the problem that may come in is that sometimes some people might make their curry too spicy, and when your food's too spicy, it can irritate your stomach. But the curry itself is fine, and it's something that can help cancer. And in this day and time, when most of our foods are poisonous, cancer, a lot of us are going to have problems with cancer. There's no question about that. It's almost becoming normal to get old, and when you get old, eventually you get cancer. It's becoming normal now. Of course, you got a lot of young people have cancer, but they almost expecting you, when you get older, to develop some kind of cancer, and it shouldn't be like that. Curry really helps with cancer, and that's something that you look into. It's not that expensive at all. It may be a little more expensive than the spices like the rosemary and cinnamon, but curry in itself is not that expensive. Another thing that you could look into is grapes. Grapes may not be a spice, but it's in your kitchen. And grapes is wonderfully powerful. Grapes is 75 to 80% water. And me, I'm a water guy. I always say most of our health problems is from dehydration. And the thing about grapes is so wonderful is that grapes also has an enzyme that slows your aging down. So grapes, there's some people who actually have a fasting system just off juicing off grapes. And grapes is powerful. It has powerful healing properties. Even if you get, of course, you should only get organic grapes. I don't even advise you to first of all, you should only get organic grapes, and you shouldn't get seedless grapes. Now, I'm saying this because, normally I would say that you would know that, but there are a lot of people who still don't know this. If you get seedless grapes, chances are it's cloned. So, and when I say clone, I mean man-made. Because how could a seedless grape really grow? Grapes come from seeds. So if you have a seedless grape, there's a problem. So grape seeds are actually even healthy for you at times too. So grapes in general grapes might be more powerful than anything I just mentioned. Grapes are very powerful. If you even if you're sick, if you just juice on grapes, you'd be surprised. Parasites have a hard time living in grapes. 75 to 8% water. Fights cancer, it has anti-aging properties, and it's cheap. Of course, again, no seedless and only organic. That's important. If you're gonna get grapes from the regular supermarket, then that defeats the purpose. If you're gonna get seedless grapes, that defeats the purpose. So definitely grapes is something that you should look into. And when you're doing these things, always understand this. I'm not trying to say that all you need is cinnamon, all you need is curry, all you need is grapes to stay healthy. What I'm trying to say is that they're cheap. If you're on a budget, then it doesn't cost that much. You can get all this stuff. I mean, most people have these things in their kitchen. One more thing that you could even look into for colds, ginger. In a lot of West Indian islands, they know about ginger tea. In China, they know about ginger. Where if you have a cold, if you have the flu, there's almost nothing better than ginger. I usually like to use ginger if I'm from a cold environment, like in the wintertime in the East Coast, New York, and I feel like I'm catching a cold. I drink some ginger tea if I feel like I'm getting some symptoms. Because one thing I like to always tell people is, remember this, when you're sick, your body's actually in a way flushing out toxins. So you're supposed to be sick so that you stop eating. That's where Western medicine goes wrong. When Western medicine, when they get sick, they give you pills or give you medicine. Even herbologists at times, even though the herbs that they give you is better than the Western medicine, and at the end of the day, if you take the herbs and not eating, that's fine. But if you're taking the herbs and you're just eating food, it defeats the purpose. Because the reason why you're sick is because your body is telling you to stop eating. Then stop eating and then heal itself. That's why if you notice most sick animals, when they're sick, they don't eat. So if you're sick and you're taking herbs and eating regular food, you're still defeating the purpose. Yes, you're a little better off than somebody taking medicine, but if you're sick, you're not supposed to be really eating. That's the difference. So in a lot of ways, ginger is really good because if you live in a cool environment, you'd be surprised. Ginger, especially if you take ginger before you get the cold. It's not like an herb, it's food. It is an herb, but it's not medicine. Where when I say an herb or medicine, let's say for instance you have echinacea, right? Which is an herb that deals with the immune system. If you catch a cold, you take echinacea, it's not that anything's wrong with it. But sometimes the most effective way to really get the cold out is to really just fast. And then let your body flush that out. Because it's sick for a reason. It's sick telling the body, your body's telling you to stop eating. So with ginger is like a food. So you're not gonna have that same problem as when you're taking an herb. When you're taking an herb and you're sick, it's a little bit better than taking medicine. When you're taking a food like ginger and you're sick, all you really do is activating the heat element in your body. And then what happens is you're basically relieving the symptoms, right? But then your body still flushes it out. So you still feel better, but still going through the same process. Whereas when you take the medicine, and your body starts to push it out, but the problem is still there. That's the difference. So ginger, rosemary, and curry, all great things. Grapes, all great things. Cinnamon, and it's great, it's healthy, it's cheap. And when you're in a budget, you must kind of do better than that. So, hope you learned something. Until next time, peace.